Shalom, shalom. Good morning, everybody. Shabbat shalom. I am coming here live just to comment on this latest video that I just saw from Judge Faith about online attacks against her and her husband's marriages. And if you haven't had a chance to see it, I'm posting the link in my chat, and I've also shared it on my community tab if it doesn't show up in the tab. Because the reason I think this topic is so important is because, just from my personal experience, I feel like we've entered a time where people are perfectly fine with accepting false narratives. We don't try to verify the information. We don't try to make sure that it's true before we start disseminating it. It's all we have to do is see it on YouTube. And there you go. And then to their point in the video, most people assume, and that's why I think Google has a greater amount of responsibility than they want to have when it comes to the dissemination of false information. I do not believe that anybody should be able to have a channel on YouTube without identifying themselves. Google should verify the identities to people, especially if they're monetized. Now, if they're not monetized, then maybe we could say, hey, it's fair game. Go ahead and have a fake channel. But at least we know that it's not, for a lack of a better term, Google certified, because that's what it looks like when Google allows these videos to be perpetuated over and over and over again. It's interesting to me because they have the money to mount this type of defense. The average person, the average content creator, you don't have the ability to defend yourself because you don't have the resources, the money, the time. You're just going to work every day. And then next thing you know, you're caught up in a smear campaign online just because somebody doesn't like you. Just because, for example, you may have a smaller channel that's gained a little bit of traction and you're able to make a little bit of money. You're able to move and do some things. And believe it or not, a lot of people just don't like you just because of that. Like, that alone is enough. Like, well, why do they have it? There is never any type of self-reflection, any type of introspection to see, well, what can I do to be better? There's always, you don't deserve it. And it really makes me think of Luke 18:11, when the Pharisee stood and prayed thus to himself, thank God, God, I thank thee that I am not as other men are, extortioners, adulterers, or even as this publican here. And he goes on to talk about how I fast in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. The publican, standing far off, would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I pray you that this man went down to his house more justified than the other. So the guy that the Pharisee is sitting there downing, he's more justified because you know what? He's real. He's telling the truth. This guy has delusions of grandeur. And I think that's what we see in society today overall. People today really think they are so wonderful. And you just sit around and take enjoyment of other people's misery. Ooh, I'm glad I'm not like her. Let me go on here and see what, you're just watching. I do not like celebrity gossip channels. I do not. Am I saying I never watch? No. I don't watch often because I'm just not interested. And because most of the information, for me, it has no benefit. It's toxic. But I will say there are certain things that I want to know, what's going on. So that's what makes it dangerous, right? Because sometimes there are celebrities who you may be mildly interested in, even if you're not a celebrity watcher. You may, well, I like Judge Faith. What are they saying about her? And then next thing you know, you see all these marriages, all these videos. And then so you start asking questions. And so it's the same way for these people's families. When they start seeing all this stuff, they get to thinking, well, what are they keeping from us? Are they lying? Are they just making it? Because why would people be saying these things about you? And so I just want you to think about that. If you were on Facebook and a bunch of people just started making videos and posts about you, and eventually your parents, your cousins, your family, your friends, they see this. Eventually somebody is going to come to you and say, hey, what is going on here? Why are all these people saying this about you? Because it's just natural. And even the Bible says, with two or more witnesses, let everything be established. You're going to start to figure, where there's smoke, there's fire. What are all these people saying this about you for, girl? What y'all over there doing? That's what you're going to get. And I just want you to know that we all have to take responsibility in the roles that we play on sharing and disseminating this information. So just like you shared and disseminated the false information, watch Faith's video and share and disseminate that. Because let's be clear, this is an attack against a family, a Black family. And I'm just going to play the first minute so you can see what she made.
What you're about to see is not gossip. It's not YouTube drama, and it's not a celebrity story. This is an investigation. They hid behind fake accounts. For months, anonymous YouTube channels spread lies about my marriage, and those lies spread so far, Google published them as fact.
That is, she did a deep dive into identifying channels and other people who are attacking her and her family. And I love how she said, this is not just celebrity or YouTube drama, because that's what a lot of people want to chalk it up as now that it's been debunked. You just want to dismiss it as, oh, it was just YouTube drama. These are people's lives. People are proud of their marriages. People are proud of their work histories. And so when somebody comes on and just gives a malicious statement about you, your job, your family, your friend, whatever they're lying about, it bothers you. And I am saying that from experience. I've had that done to me on social media. It is frustrating. It is especially when you find out that it comes from people who have not led such great lives. They're felons, they're drug addicts, they're everything that they are saying you are. That is what they are, because most of the time, that is what happens. Most of the people that are spreading lies and gossip are miserable. But you have to remember, I will say this and I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not going to keep you too long. Proverbs 12:19 says, the lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. So if you think you're enjoying your time in the sunlight, basking in the lies and the dishonesty and webs that you're on here spending, just know that at some point your chickens are going to come home to roost, because whatever you put out here, because I am a Bible believer, it says that you are going to reap what you sow, and you're going to get that back sevenfold. So you're not going to get away with the things that you're doing on here. And for people who do celebrity gossip, I would just advise you to move with caution. I would advise you to make sure that the information you're disseminating is true. You have a moral obligation to do so. And especially if you're a person who has reported on any of this on your channel, you have a moral obligation right now to push this video just like you pushed those lies. You have especially if you claim to, I'm just reporting the news. Well, this is news. Report it just like you reported the other stuff. Clean up the record and stop lying on people, everybody. Let's just remember, these are Black families that we're talking about that are often the attack. And I would even go further than what she said when she said that, she identified that as Black celebrities and families being targeted. I say Black people are being targeted in media, period, because we're easy targets. And not only that, I know everybody gets online and pretends that they're making six figures, but the average American isn't making six figures. So doggone well, you're not even making what the average American makes. So we could break down those numbers if you want to. We've done that before. So what I'm saying is, you don't have money laying around to spend on attorneys and court costs, and you definitely don't have the means to fight Google, okay? But I do like that she said they didn't fight back. They let them know, hey, go ahead, you send this paperwork, we'll let it roll through and help you identify these people. Watch what you do, because not only are you putting other people's names and reputations at risk, you're also destroying your own. Because for me, once I find out you're a liar, I don't believe anything you say. I don't know about you guys, but once I find out that a YouTuber is just lying and making up stuff from people, you have zero credibility for me. I might even like you, right? I'll have a conversation with you. But you got to know that I take everything you say with a grain of salt because you're a liar. You know it, and I know it. And just like in everyday average life on the street, in the office, out of the office, at home, at work, at play, you will be treated accordingly. So that's my word for today. Just think about it. Shalom.